our sun is going to swallow Earth. Not today, not tomorrow, but the countdown has already begun, and there's absolutely nothing we can do to stop it. Right now, at this very moment, our sun is burning through 600 million tons of hydrogen every single second, and when it runs out, the real nightmare begins. Here's what they don't tell you in school. Everything you know about the sun is about to become obsolete. In approximately 5 billion years, our stable, yellow star will transform into a red giant, a cosmic monster so massive it will engulf Mercury, Venus, and possibly Earth itself. But here's the controversy nobody wants to discuss. Some scientists now believe this could happen much sooner than we think, and recent data suggests we might be seeing early warning signs in other stars right now. Let me explain what a red giant actually is, because Hollywood got it completely wrong. When a star like our sun exhausts its hydrogen fuel in the core, something catastrophic happens. The core contracts under its own gravity, becoming incredibly hot and dense. But instead of dying, the star fights back. The outer layers expand outward, sometimes reaching beyond the orbit of Mars. The surface cools to around 3,000 degrees Celsius, giving it that distinctive red color, but don't let that fool you. A red giant is far more luminous than our current sun, sometimes thousands of times brighter. Betelgeuse, one of the brightest stars in our night sky, is a red giant right now. This massive star, located about 650 light-years away, has already begun its death sequence. In 2019 and 2020, Betelgeuse dimmed dramatically, and astronomers went into a frenzy. Was it about to explode? The dimming turned out to be a massive dust cloud. But here's the unsettling part. Betelgeuse could go supernova today, tomorrow, or 100,000 years from now, and we simply cannot predict it with certainty. When it does explode, it will be visible during the daytime on Earth and will remain the brightest object in our night sky for months. The transformation our sun will undergo is already written in the stars, literally. We can observe red giants at various stages throughout our galaxy. Arcturus, the fourth brightest star in our night sky, is a red giant that has already burned through its hydrogen. It's now fusing helium into carbon and oxygen in its core. At 25 times the diameter of our sun, Arcturus shows us a preview of our sun's future self. But here's where it gets personal and controversial. When our sun becomes a red giant, any remnants of human civilization will be obliterated. The temperatures on Earth will soar to thousands of degrees. Our oceans will boil away into space. The atmosphere will be stripped completely. Recent computer models from 2023 suggest that Earth might actually survive, pushed into a wider orbit by the sun's mass loss, but it will be nothing more than a scorched, lifeless rock. Some scientists argue whether Earth deserves to be saved at all, given how we're treating it now. That's a debate that divides the scientific community. The physics behind red giant formation is extraordinary. Right now, our sun converts hydrogen into helium through nuclear fusion at its core, where temperatures reach 15 million degrees Celsius. This fusion creates an outward pressure that perfectly balances the inward pull of gravity. It's a cosmic equilibrium that has remained stable for 4.6 billion years. But when the hydrogen runs out, that balance breaks. The core shrinks and heats up, while a shell of hydrogen around the core begins fusing. This shell fusion is so energetic it pushes the outer layers outward, creating a red giant. What happens next is even more spectacular. For about 100 million years, our sun will burn helium in its core through a process called the triple alpha process, fusing 3 helium nuclei into carbon. During this phase, the sun will shrink somewhat but remain much larger than it is today. When the helium runs out, the sun lacks the mass to fuse carbon, so it will shed its outer layers in beautiful waves called planetary nebulae. The core that remains will be a white dwarf, a dense stellar remnant about the size of Earth, but containing about half the sun's mass. Here's the mind-bending part. 1 teaspoon of white dwarf material would weigh about 15 tons on Earth. This incredibly dense object will slowly cool over trillions of years, eventually becoming a black dwarf, a theoretical object so old that none exist yet in our universe because the universe itself isn't old enough. Current observations from the Gaia Space Telescope have mapped over 1 billion stars in our galaxy, and we've identified red giants at every stage of evolution. In 2022, Astronomers discovered a red giant named HD 148937 that appears to have eaten its companion star, causing it to spit out strange symmetrical gas clouds. This cannibalistic behavior shows us that stellar evolution can be violent and unpredictable. The James Webb Space Telescope is now giving us unprecedented views of dying stars and the planetary nebulae they create. These aren't just beautiful cosmic clouds. They're the building blocks of future solar systems. The carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen that make up your body were forged in stars that became red giants, died, and scattered these elements across space. You are quite literally made of dead stars. So here's what I want to know. If you could leave one message for whatever life forms might exist 5 billion years from now, when our sun is a cold white dwarf, what would you say?